Welcome to Out of the Blue number 237. So I'm multitasking today. I'm exercising my other wrist. My vibrato. Vibrato is a fine motor skill. And to get to the fine motor skills, you have to do a larger motor skill. So I'm going to start practicing this vibrato and 2 years from now, I hope to have a good vibrato in my right hand. And it was suggested that I narrow down the focus of this whole series. Here I am on 237, narrowing down the focus. There's essentially 4 areas that we're touching upon. The practice, violin practice. I'm an adult beginner on the violin. And the violin requires a lot of practice. And it becomes just a part of your life. And so I'm actually practicing right now. So violin, and I'm also, as I've said, a folk singer in Chicago. That's 2. So folk singing, violin playing. A lot of what I'm saying touches upon the subject of magic, both illusion magic and so-called supernatural magic. So illusion magic is often spelt with a C, and when you start talking esoteric magic, it's often spelt with a K. So both kinds of magic. So we have folk singing, violin playing, magic, and I'll call the 4th category spiritualism, because it is related to spiritualism, but it is actually a new take on spiritualism. Here's a book called The Metaphysical Club: A Story of Ideas in America. And Neo-Swedenborgianism is essentially a new idea. In America, I'm in Chicago, and so Neo-Swedenborgianism fits within this. And there's a saying, because we've been talking about talking to the dead, and there's a saying that to live in the hearts of the ones we leave behind is to not die. And this is an acceptable saying to all kinds of people. So a person who does not believe in an afterlife will say something along the lines of that we live in the hearts of those we leave behind. And I am focusing a little closer on that idea, because these near-death experience people have this experience where they actually reunite with these people who are in their hearts, people they care about. And so when somebody lives in your heart, now we mean that in a kind of a poetic way. We don't really mean it in a literal way. But it's looking like it actually can be taken in a literal way. And that it is statistically significant. Your chances of reuniting with these people are statistically significant, are quantifiable. So it is no longer a comforting belief. It is no longer something to have faith in. It is now something that can be quantified. And we can say that what are the chances of you reuniting with your loved ones? And based on studies that have already been done, it can be said to be about 20%, right? And so to the skeptic, I would say, if it's not real, then how is it that we can quantify it? And one response would be that it is a subjective, it is, quote, only a subjective experience. And that is what I'm agreeing with. I'm saying, yes, it is, quote, only a subjective experience, which is to say it cannot be proven to be an objective reality outside of your own experiencing of it. But that can be said to be true of everything in our lives. So it is real, it is only as real as this life. The life we go on to is only subjectively real, and it is only as real as this life, except for the fact that people who have experienced it say it was actually more real, subjectively, in their point of view. It was more real than this, which is why people believe in it so strongly, because it appears to them to have been more real than this. Now, if we're going to be rational about this, we cannot conclude that it is in fact more real. All we can actually conclude is that it appears to be, in the first person, subjective sense, it appears to be more real. But when you accept that there is this thing within human experience that appears more real than this, you can understand why it then usurps this reality. And you have people coming back saying there is a greater reality. I am not exactly saying, Neo-Swedenborgianistically speaking, we are not saying there is a greater reality. We are saying that there is something that appears to be a greater reality. And that we have a quantifiable chance of experiencing. And that's a powerful thing. Welcome to Out of the Blue.